Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of Bucket We Ball. We got my boy Tito back in the building,
Good to be
here
here.
to pick some locks. Here to pick some locks just like we did last weekend. We're going to give you all the best insight on the NFL heading into week 3, and we're going to give you the picks of the week. So, as well as our power rankings at the end. So, we're going to get on into it. Um, we are, oh, man. Usually I cover the week 2. I usually cover the week 3 um, Thursday night game on the Tuesday episode. I can't do that this week. We're going to be doing it. So we're just going to be kind of reflecting on that. And our power rankings will be as of before last night's game because the Jets absolutely killed the Patriots, but I don't think either of us are going to have them in our top 5 anyway. So our first game, obviously, did you catch the Thursday night game last night?
Yeah, I actually caught some of it. I mean, not all of it, just because.
Yeah, I caught 90% of it.
Yeah,
But
it started getting super boring. But
yeah, the Patriots just have no tools, man. There are no tools in that shed.
no, I thought their defense was going to be at least a little bit better than what it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah, Aaron was kind of picking them apart like the Aaron Rodgers of old.
it looked good.
I think he's looking fine. I think people are blowing it out of proportion. He's doing really good. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers until Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be Aaron Rodgers anymore. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I thought he did good yesterday. But
um,
I mean, not a
yeah,
lot. I mean, they look like they're going to be a running team. They're going to run until they can't run no more, and then go play action. That's what it looks like.
and then you let the man unleash the bad man, as I referred to last week.
We'll see.
Heading in to NFL Sunday, we got Giants and Browns, baby, the best game of the year.
Oh yeah, yep. Best game of the year. Giants Brown. Browns are at home.
Yeah,
Their favorite 6.5, and the over under in that game is 39.5.
that is way too high. I think the whole world will be hammering the under on that one, man.
Um, Personally, I think that I don't know. I mean, the Browns haven't shown much, but they are at home. I still think maybe the 6.5 might be a little too high. I think maybe 3 would have been better.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
but
It's the fact that they're playing the Giants. That's probably where that comes from.
yeah,
The Giants are coming off of a heartbreaking loss to the Washington Commanders.
yes.
Um,
Which they didn't look bad in that game.
they
They
didn't
look
look
decent.
awful. Malik
They
Neighbors
look
looked
decent.
amazing.
Yeah, they look decent in that game. So again, I wouldn't take the Browns at this point with 6.5 just because I don't trust them that much. But I mean, maybe with 2.5. I do think the Browns win this game at home though. I think Browns at home figure out a way to get a win, a much needed win, and I think that
Yeah.
that happens. I'm not sure if you have any other analysis on this game,
I
but
have zero other analysis other than what you just said. I have
yeah,
Cleveland taking it at home. Shit has to stick to a wall eventually, right?
yeah, that is a good saying. That's a great saying. Yeah,
Just keep
I
throwing it
mean,
at the wall and hope it sticks. I think that's what Cleveland does this weekend against the very below average New York Giants.
yeah, I don't think the Giants do anything this weekend. So, I
They
mean, we
might
can.
they might go 0-17.
I mean, we can move on from that one. That's not
Let's
much of a.
move right on to one I want to talk about a lot. The Saints don't have to come marching in this week. The Saints can stay right where they're at as they host the Philadelphia Eagles, your Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, honest opinion, uh, Saints minus 2.5 here. It seems like a good play. I mean, Saints are at home.
Does their
They've been running.
luck run out?
They they've been running the shit out the foot. I don't think the luck could run out because they've been running the football and playing defense. From all the people that know a lot more than me, they say that travels. And it
That's
does.
that
It doesn't need to travel because they're home. On top of that,
running the ball and playing defense. That's all part of that. I like to call it January football. That's what you need to be a good team in January, playing in the playoffs. You need running the ball and you need defense. If you don't have those two things and you can't win wars on the trenches, you're not winning games in the NFL, especially in the playoffs.
I
Um,
agree.
and the Saints have been doing that very, very well. They are defending home field. Derek Carr has looked like Peyton Manning to start the year here. With that said, Philly
Who do
has
you
to
like?
break this rut eventually. I got Philly on the road this week, stealing one.
Wow. Wow.
I just it has to happen. I feel like it's going to happen. I don't see a world where the Saints team starts the season 3-0, but I also there are times I
Is
like to be wrong.
is AJ Brown still out with the hamstring?
AJ Brown is trending to be out with the hamstring again this weekend. And I don't know how to view it. I don't know if it's no AJ Brown, no party for Philly.
I'll
But
be honest with you. I don't even think it's that. I think our run defense has been, mediocre at best. The secondary has been they're giving up a lot of big plays. Defensive play calling down the stretch of that Falcons game was atrocious. Can we bounce back from this? I think it's going to be a close game. But again, Saints at home from the Saints team that I've seen 2 weeks in a row. I don't know. I can't choose the Eagles here. I would love to, though. I would love. The Eagles can win this game. I'm not saying they can't win it. But if I had to bet money, the money would be either Saints Saints with the 2.5, or if I move the Eagles line to give me more points. But I just can't see it.
yeah, man. I mean, it's all a matter of can they find a rhythm on offense without their big pass catcher down the field? Can Devontae Smith step up as that guy? Can Dallas Goedert make more of a role for himself in the passing
Right.
game? Can Jalen Hurts find plays without his guy?
Right.
And I think he'll be able to. I think when you have an elite guy like Jalen Hurts, I think eventually cooler heads prevail in terms of starting the season slow. And I think eventually you start to see those guys come into the swing of the season a little more. I think week 3 is kind of going to be kind of a reality check, to say the least, for a lot of teams. I think this is where you start to see that first couple weeks magic blend off. I think the
Yeah.
Saints are going to plateau here.
Okay.
And I think Philly's got it.
All right. So you got Philly. I got the Saints. What's
That's
the next game?
we got Texans Vikings after that one, and given what we've seen so far, this could be a pretty good game.
I'm gonna just go right out and say it, man. I haven't been impressed by the Texans. I'm going
Me neither.
Vikings. I'm going Vikings at home.
Yeah,
Vikings actually with that +2 at home, man. I think Sam Darnold. We spoke about it before. I think he might be having a little bit of Baker Mayfield in him right now. Career resurgence. The defense has been playing good. I'm on the Vikings in this one. I
I'm
think some of
gonna
that magic
second.
runs out.
I'm gonna second you on that one. I got the Magic. Holy crap, you got me messed up. I got the Vikings rolling on their magic, pulling another cat out of the hat against the Texans this
Yeah,
weekend. I think Sam Darnold's been impressing me. I mean, he's been that throw to Justin Jefferson is one of the most
crazy,
perfect balls you could put.
crazy,
The run after the catch, of course, is what
crazy.
got it 99 yards into the end zone, but that ball couldn't have been placed better. Sam
Yeah, I'm
Darnold's
going.
been playing very good as the Viking starter, and I got Minnesota by about a field goal, maybe 6.
Man, I got Minnesota as well. All right, move right along to the next game.
Moving right along, we
What do we
got
got?
the Tampa Bay Massacre, where Denver's coming to Tampa Bay, and I don't know if it'll be much of a game.
Denver's coming to Tampa Bay. Oh, here it is. Buccaneers. Buccaneers. Broncos at Buccaneers.
Broncos at Buccaneers. That's why I said it's the Tampa Bay Massacre. The cannons that will be shooting right off that pirate ship at Raymond James Stadium. It's going to be loud as it always is. Baker Mayfield has been scorching hot to start the
I mean, the
season.
only question is right now is do they cover the 6.5? I think Tampa wins this game outright. I don't see the Broncos winning this game. Although I do like Bo Nix. I think that Bo Nix is a good young quarterback. He's not young, about my age, but not joking. But he's been in college forever.
That's hard, bro.
He's been in college forever. But I like him. I think eventually I don't think it's now. I think it's going to take him a couple years to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, the Bucks look good right today, tomorrow. They're going to be a player in the NFC. Give me the
Yeah.
Bucks. But matter of fact, honestly, I like the line. Give me a Bucks by a touchdown.
Yeah,
Give me a Bucks by a touchdown.
not to
I
just
like
agree
that.
with you on every single pick, but
Well, you haven't. You haven't. You went against me the first one.
I went against you on the
Philly.
Saints
The
and the
Philly pick.
Philly. I got, man, yeah, I'll agree. I'll match you. Pick
Let
up
me
your
write
phone,
these.
man.
No, I know I dropped it. I had a whole
I got
thing over here. I
I
gotta
got the
put my
Bucks
pick.
by a touchdown too. I'm gonna match your pick on that.
All
I
right,
think that's
so
a safe lock. It could be way more. It could be way less, but
yeah, I gotta write these picks down that we had. These are good picks here.
yeah, man,
All
I need
right.
to write it down so I can cash in on Monday morning.
And you know what we will do too eventually on the show. Anyone that wants to be involved with us, now since gambling is legal, we can just talk about this stuff openly,
Very
and
true.
which will have like anybody that wants, we'll make a certain amount of picks that we agree on every week, and anybody that wants to be in it with us, they can follow the
Yeah,
picks.
we could do
You know,
a little
we'll
pick
put it
booth.
on FanDuel. Me and you, we'll put our own in there, and we could have like the people if they want to
I
join us in.
I agree. I think that'd be a really good idea, but I want to touch on this comment that was just received because that's the beauty of doing stuff on Instagram Live is you can get live comments.
Oh, you can.
Um,
You know me.
Thoughts on Bryce Young? What are
I'm a
your thoughts on
dinosaur.
Bryce Young?
I think Bryce Young needs more time. I think that moving him out of the starting lineup right now is not a good idea. I think when you put a young person in that position, whether no matter what it is or what sport it is, you got to give him time to grow. You
Right.
don't have a good offensive line around him. You don't have a tremendous running game around him. He doesn't have a ton of weapons. How do you expect him to win games? And
Very
Andy
true.
Dalton, you know who Andy Dalton is. It's not like he's going to come and be a different guy tomorrow. You know what it is. So putting him in right now does what? I mean, it's week 3. You know,
Right. I,
you need,
I
you
was
need give
very
him a
shocked.
quarter of the season. Give him a quarter of the season at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree. I was very shocked about him being benched. I did tell my friend that day he got benched that he was going to be benched within the next week. I
Wow.
wish I said that on video because that
Yeah,
could have gone like that could have done very good with how good of a prediction that ended up being. He ended up getting benched about 20 minutes after I sent that text.
that's crazy, bro. Yeah,
I pretty much I like to say that I benched Bryce Young. I might have been the one to bench Bryce Young because I literally put that out into the universe and it just happened.
I
But
think your young talent. I mean, you don't want to tear his confidence down. You know what I
I
mean? So
agree with the principle for the sake of the question. I think Bryce Young is talented. It's he doesn't have the tools yet, and this is kind of just a spin off of what you were saying. He doesn't have the tools yet to succeed in the league because how would he? He has been there for only a season and a season and 2 games now. Um, there are other things that come to mind, like his height, um, seeing over the line, like a lot of those Kyler Murray concerns we heard coming out. But Kyler Murray was able to silence that doubt once he got DeAndre Hopkins over there and got some weapons. I think Bryce Young will be able to do the same. I'm thinking now it'll be in a different system, but I don't see why Bryce Young couldn't bounce back. He has good talent. He's athletic, and I think he can make it work.
I think so too. So we're rooting for you, Bryce. Rooting
Yeah,
for
Bryce,
Bryce
if
Young.
you're watching this, man, we'll keep you in your thoughts, in our thoughts.
Rooting for him.
We're not going to keep
Yeah.
you in your own thoughts. Don't do that. That's probably why you're benched. All right, moving on. We got the Green Bay Packers coming to Tennessee for one of your favorite 1 o'clock Tennessee games.
I know it's tough. I mean, I love the Packers at home last week. I don't know how much I love them on the road. You got Willis going back to his old team, right?
Right.
He may
Wait,
feel a little bit.
wait. Jordan Love is expected. I believe he is expected back this weekend.
Really?
He,
Because initially it said 3 to 4 weeks with an MCL,
I saw
whatever.
that too, but I saw something. I believe he was active in practice today, maybe as a limited participant. I don't know if he'll be back starting. So, for the sake of the analysis of this game, I will analyze it as if Malik Willis is starting for the Packers.
Okay.
For
So
me, that doesn't even matter. For me, I think Green Bay's defense is very stout. Will Levis has not, although he played a very, very respectable game last week, got Calvin Ridley in the end zone twice, one rushing, one receiving. I don't like Will Levis and that offense against stout, very good defenses. I'm going to take Green Bay by a field goal.
Well, that's good. They're plus 2.5, so they're basically underdogs by almost a field goal. So, after watching the Titans last week and watching them give away the game basically to the Jets,
That,
um,
that was a hard watch.
they gave away the game to the Jets last week. Levis made a couple of bad plays.
Yeah, man. I'm just happy he didn't end up on his knees with his hands on his head again.
Yeah, made a couple bad plays. If Love plays, for sure I'm going Packers. Packers on the road.
I picked two teams on the road already.
Yeah, Packers on the road. 1:00 game in Tennessee. It's gonna be a dog fight.
It's always the dog fight when you're talking about the game, bro.
It's gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna go with the. Give me the Titans at home.
Oh boy, we got the Titans picked. That 1:00 game in Tennessee. We know how much you stress it on your parlay.
Titans at home, man. They cost me. It cost me last week a little bit, but they, granted, they were right in the game the entire game.
It was a very good game, one that I thought you were about to have me beat on with that pick. That would have been the best pick of your career if that upset happened last week. Of your sports analyst career, man.
Yeah, that was it. So we clear on that game right there. What's the next game?
So the next game we have the Chicago Bears and the Indianapolis Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis.
It's an easy one, man. We going to Indianapolis. Indianapolis at home, easy one.
You think that's an easy one. I have a different take on this one. The Chicago Bears offense has been so brutally bad and hard to watch to start the year. And remember what I said about this reality check week 3.
Mm-hmm.
This is do or break for the Bears, in my opinion. I mean, it's not do or break for Caleb Williams' career, but maybe it is for how he can affect the offense this year. If you can't get some touchdowns on the board.
Honestly, the Bears, who they played last week? Who was it last week? I might have had them on one of my parlays last week.
They had the Texans. That was the primetime game on Sunday night.
Texans last week. I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. The Bears should be 0-2 right now. If it wasn't for their defense in the first week, who they play first week?
They played Titans. Yeah, your boys.
Right. First week. I mean, look, here's how the NFL rolls, right? The Titans easily could be 2-0 right now. They easily could be 2-0, and the Bears easily could be 0-2 right now.
Right.
But that's just the way it comes. It comes down to a couple of plays. I trust Richardson more.
I do too.
With the football and having to make a couple of plays than I trust Caleb right now. Excuse me. Will that change? I don't know. But right now, them young quarterback on the road, Lucas Oil, shit gonna be rocking in there. Give me the Colts -1.5. That's honestly one of my best picks of the week, outside of the obvious picks, which some of these picks, it seems too obvious. I'm almost getting scared.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to navigate my way through with these picks is, do I pick the favorite every time? I can't.
No.
I think the Bears get it done this week, though, bro. I think this is the week Caleb Williams finds out how to use his weapons and put some freaking touchdowns on the board, because we've all been desperately waiting for it for 2 weeks now.
Like I want to see him do good. Like I said, I just don't know if, I don't know how. I mean, they got nothing from the running game. Swift looked horrible last week. Herbert couldn't get. They got nothing from the running game. If they're not going to get anything from that running game again, I know the Colts are going to run the ball. Like, I know they're going to run it.
And Taylor will do his thing.
They're going to run. So like I said, I'm going to go with the Colts. I did choose one underdog this week, did I? Which was the Vikings at home. So I don't know if
That's
that's
just
really
so
an
far.
underdog. I don't know if that's really an
I'm
underdog, the
sure
Vikings at home.
maybe we'll come across some more underdogs as we progress through these picks. We're about halfway through here with our picks of the week. We did have a question though. I want to touch on it really fast, and then we'll
Okay.
move on. We had a question on what our thoughts were about Daniel Jones. Man, I do not want to hear my own thoughts about Daniel Jones because they tend to be very rude. Um, I think Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback in the NFL.
The worst quarterback in the NFL?
The very worst quarterback in the NFL. I can't name one worse who starts on a consistent basis. I can't do it. I'm trying to think. I can't.
I don't know if I'm ready to make that claim yet. I mean, didn't Daniel Jones win a playoff game? Was that a year or two ago?
He didn't win a playoff game, but he
Okay.
did lead his team to the playoffs, or shall I say Saquon led his team to the playoffs.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. I don't think that.
do you think
I do.
he can be good in the future?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think with the right system around him, he's pretty fast. He actually throws a pretty accurate ball when he has time. The right offensive line, I think that he can do some damage.
I don't know, man. I think he's just a turnover machine. I'm sorry to my Giants fans out there watching, but I think y'all need
Yeah,
to move on. I think it's
I,
time to
I, I
move
think
on.
I think give him another year or two.
Yeah, yeah, maybe they let him play out his contract, considering they gave him $80 million
Yeah, I
a
think
couple years ago.
another year or two, and I think maybe he'll be all right.
Yeah. For those just joining us, the Vikings play the Texans this week for that question to be answered. Vikings Texans. We both picked the Vikings at home to defend home field this week.
Wait, but that,
Moving on to my game of the week, it will be a game I'm gonna be at. The
oh wow.
Chargers at the home opener of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. Will there be a louder stadium in football this week than Acrisure Stadium? The short answer is no, because the Steelers fans make other teams' home stadiums their own home stadium. The home opener for a 2-0 Pittsburgh Steelers opening the season. You know what I mean, man? It's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be rampant. And Justin Herbert, who's battling a lingering leg injury in practice this week, is going to be living hell on earth this week in Pittsburgh. That's my take. I think Pittsburgh gets it done, but I think it's still a dogfight. I think it's close.
I mean, every game Pittsburgh is going to make the same, right? We know what Pittsburgh is
Right.
going to do. They're going to make games ugly. They're going to go, three and out. They're going to make you go three and out. It's going to be a punt, punt, punt,
punt,
punt.
punt, punt.
Somebody make a play. Hopefully it's not too cold in Pittsburgh for you.
It will be
This.
85 and sunny out.
Wow,
It
wow.
will
So
be a warm Pittsburgh, something I'm not very used
that's
to when I go to these
beautiful.
games.
Again, this definitely can go either way. I think they got the line right. They got the Pittsburgh Steelers
I
minus one
believe
and a half.
we were 2.5 favorites a couple
Right.
days ago. They must have updated that.
They moved it down to one and a half, which means a lot of. I mean, to be honest with you, J.K. Dobbins has been running the ball really well
He has.
for you know for the Chargers. I don't trust Herbert like that, but man, this is a close game.
This is one where I could see Pittsburgh kind of struggling in the underneath game, like playing defense, guarding those short throws and guarding those swings, letting J.K. Dobbins get out in space. That's something I'm fearful about. But at the same time, we have been very good against the run game to start the year here so far.
I mean,
Um,
I just don't see Pittsburgh in true Pittsburgh form. I can't see them going 3-0 this early in the season. I don't think. So my
just
better
break my
judgment,
heart, man. Just give it to me.
my better judgment says I'm gonna go with the Chargers on the road. I'm gonna go with the Chargers on the road. Again, this game depends on how well that Steelers defense plays, right?
Right.
Does, does TJ get back there and disrupt a lot of shit? Does he make his life live in hell? Probably so. Um,
That was my thinking of it. I think
mhm.
just that energy in the stadium is going to be feeding that defense all day
It's gonna
long.
be nuts, right? And again, if Justin Fields can make one or two plays, I'm gonna go with a low scoring game. They got to hit 36, which I think is about right.
I would
I,
take the under.
I think this game is gonna be a 24-17 at best. That's like tops.
I got
Looking more on the lines
Pittsburgh
of like
20, LA 16.
something like that. So I'm going to right. I think, yep, I'm going to go with the Chargers, though. Go with the Chargers on the road. That's an
Respectable.
underdog
Can
pick
they
for you.
spoil the home opener?
They'll spoil it. What's next?
We got Dolphins, the Tua Tagovailoa. Oh my God, that is a tongue twister.
I know
The
what you're about to
Tua
say.
Tagovailoa-less Dolphins versus the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
I mean, we know what this is. This is a Seattle. You got to go up there to Seattle. It's nasty work without your starting quarterback. This is nasty. I'm going to go
And
with the
the
Seahawks.
I have to also. I have to do it
I'm going with the
also.
Seahawks.
I mean, something likes to tell me that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can, be the big play guys that they are with or without Tua. But I'm not seeing how that's going to flow over well on the road. I got Seattle easy.
Yeah, Seattle easy. I don't have much to
I'm
talk
trying to
about.
find a devil's advocate here, but I'm not seeing much of one. I got Seattle 26 to 17.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right to me.
Need DK to have a big day. Um, Panthers and Raiders. Does it get better than this?
No, I mean I can't. I don't think the Panthers are going to win a road game with Andy Dalton. I mean, could it happen?
Do
Absolutely.
we see Bryce Young be the fastest player to ever be benched and put back in the game ever?
No, I think they're going to let Andy Dalton play the entire game today. I
We're
mean
really
that
gonna let him cook, huh?
that week I think they'll see it out, but I think the Raiders get a much needed win at home
I think my
to
boy
somewhat
Brock Bowers is gonna find the end zone.
to somewhat stay relevant. I think they. I mean, listen, they got Raiders at 5. You somehow buy that down to like 2.5, it's a lot. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
right.
I can't see it.
I
At
got
two
the
and a half.
Raiders by double digits again because
Wow,
I pick everyone who plays the Panthers until they show me otherwise by double digits, and
that's
that's
smart.
gonna happen. We
That's smart.
got a very banged up San Francisco 49ers heading into SoFi Stadium to play the Rams who have not looked good to start this year. This is going to
Mm.
be a very
Hmm.
weird, very awkward NFC West clash.
Hmm. I don't know about
The
this.
49ers are looking to be without Debo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle this weekend.
I mean, the Rams at +6.5 is a great bet. I mean, the Rams at plus
That that
six and
that
a
that,
half is
that
a great
couldn't
bet.
be. I couldn't agree more.
That's a great bet at +6.5. I mean, you give me that many people out that are all directly affecting the running game, which is clearly the best thing that San Francisco does. I got to take the Rams at home +6.5. Divisional game on the road. The Rams just got their ass kicked by another division foe. So like they can't afford to get blown out by two division teams in a row.
That
I
that
think
is a absolute detriment to their confidence if that happens.
I think
Um,
Sean McVay's a great coach. I think
for
he
sure.
gets. I honestly think you know shit. We're gonna call another underdog. I honestly think the Rams get it done this week. I think the Rams get it done this week, bro.
I think you've convinced me. I'm
I
I
think the
I
Rams
was
get it
leaning
done.
towards the Rams already. Just for the pure sake that they're a little more healthy than the 49ers are, and we saw how San Francisco looked against um Minnesota with no CMC, no Debo Samuel, not all hands on deck. And it's starting to just kind of seem like some early season adversity for the 49ers here. Some injury hills they got to get over as usual. I think once they
Right.
get back healthy, they'll be back to the well-oiled Kyle Shanahan machine that they are.
Right.
But for now, it's not. It's looking bleak for the LA
Now
Rams or for
let
the
me let me make a
49ers.
let me make a point real quick about the NFC East and how fast things can change. I'm looking at this right here.
Right.
So if the 49ers lose this week, and we haven't talked about the Cowboys playing yet, which they got the Ravens this week. If they lose this week, and the Eagles lose this week, look at this NFC. This is like, you know,
The NFC is wide open right now.
I mean, listen, all three of these teams could go down this week. And also, we got another game that we didn't talk about was the Lions
That
Cardinals.
it was on deck. That's our next
Right.
one we
And
got.
so you look at it like all of these teams can go down this week, right?
Yeah.
And if that happens, you're looking at a totally different NFC picture for now. Now, again, the good teams always find a way, at the end, and obviously somebody has to win these divisions, but
Right.
so I just want to make that point. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. Definitely, if I can get them at plus 6.5. So
I like that. I like that pick. I don't know if they win by a whole touchdown, but I think they definitely get it done.
yeah, no, I got them plus 6. So they're
Oh, you
plus
have
six
them
and a
plus
half.
6. Got you. Yeah, I
Yeah, so
thought you
they're
said
like,
-6.
no, that's what I'm saying. At that much of an underdog with all those people out, it's crazy. But I mean,
+6
49ers,
is a lock in my opinion.
yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I got to take that bet.
Yeah. So
What's that?
moving on, you already mentioned it. We have Lions Cardinals in Arizona.
Look, Arizona's another home underdog. I mean, this
Like
is a
you said, they just put up 44 points, I believe it was, on the Rams. Laid the smackdown on them.
this is a travesty. The same Rams team that the Lions barely beat. It took them overtime.
Exactly, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with another underdog in this game because I wasn't sold on the Lions to begin
Are
with,
you about
and
to do this?
I'm about to do this. Kyler Murray looks like the Kyler Murray of old. He's now found his number one target, which is Marvin Harrison Jr. an
He's
animal.
that man.
I mean, McBride looks good. Connor,
Right?
you know James Conner well.
Don't remind me, man.
He's still running the shit out the football.
The things I would do to have him back in the black and gold.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go Cardinals here, +3 on the road. You know they're gonna put up points. The over under is 51.5.
Yeah.
They're expecting the Cardinals to put up points,
My
right?
God. I just don't know if the Kyler Murray of old is all the way back or if we just saw the glimpses of the resurgence. I think it's happening either way this season. I think he's going to have
Even
a good
in the
overall year.
loss, if you look at even in a loss against the Bills, the Cardinals controlled the entire game.
They should
They
have won
controlled
that
that
game.
whole game. They should have won that game. Excuse me. Easily, they could be 2-0 right now.
Yeah, that's very hard to argue.
I mean, again, at home, but your number one wide receiver rookie looking like a straight stud, having 3 touchdowns in the first quarter or something crazy like
Yeah.
that. Dog, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Lions do have a great running game where they can control the time and possession. So
Where
I'm
are
I'm,
you down, especially?
I'm still going Cardinals though. I'm still going Cardinals, man.
I got Detroit on the road this week.
I'm still going Cardinals. How much? How much you think they can win by?
It's going to be a close game, I think. I think. They barely edged past the Rams week 1. Like you said, they're a tempo football team. They control the clock.
They control the clock. They got
I
a good
think their
shot.
defense is a little more stout than the Cardinals' defense. I think they'll be able to probably come up with a little more stops, probably take advantage of the Cardinals' offensive line not being as good as their own offensive line. And as I mentioned earlier with the trench battle, I think the Lions just win the trench battle in this one. I think they wear out the Cardinals. Um, I would take, I think like a 26-23. odd score,
Yeah,
like maybe a
yeah, I'm
little
good with
higher,
that.
maybe like a 28-25. But I got the Lions taking this one on the road.
That makes a lot of sense. Who we got next?
We are on to the other matchup you recently brought up. We got the Ravens coming to visit the Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
Remember
This
what
is
happened when the Saints came marching into Dallas and you thought Dallas was going to, your words, not mine, take the
yeah.
belt and put it to the ass of the Cowboys. So,
I
or
thought
of the
so.
Saints.
I thought so. I mean, this game, honestly, if you want my real honest opinion, I have no fucking clue. I don't. I mean, honest with you. You know,
Uh,
you know, I'm happy. This doesn't paycheck doesn't count, and I have no clue. I mean, I don't know what either one of these teams are at this point.
right.
I, I don't know what either one of these teams are, who either one of these teams is. Dallas had a blowout, then got blown out. I mean, the Ravens are 0-2 right now.
Yep. Where they should
They're coming in,
be.
they're coming in desperate. Who they lose to last week? I remember watching the game, but I
The
forgot who it was.
Raiders.
Lost to the Raiders last week. They're 0-2.
I think
Man.
Baltimore rights the ship this week. I'll start. I think Baltimore gets it right this week on the road. I mean, think of it.
Wow.
Think
Wow.
of it. Dallas. They allowed Alvin Kamara not one, not two, not three, four touchdowns in that game. The Ravens are now coming in as the best rushing team on paper in football with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in town. I think Lamar maybe finds the end zone himself using his legs, and I think Derrick Henry scores either one or a pair of touchdowns on the ground this week.
Wow.
Dallas, they haven't looked good against the run defense. I think teams are finding how to isolate Parsons when he's out on the edge and how to run the ball against that. So I like the Ravens finally getting a win this weekend. I think the
Wow.
stars are aligning for it, and I'd take Baltimore by a field goal. Why not?
Wow. Like I said, I don't trust either one of these teams to bet this game. I wouldn't put my money on either one of them. I'm going to go with the more desperate team. I mean, Ravens need a
How
win, man.
many
I don't.
games have we seen, like AFC, NFC games, like kind of cross conference games where the leg of Justin Tucker has won them the game in the final minute?
Oh, also, it's a stat that goes around that Lamar doesn't lose against the NFC. Also,
That's
so that's
very
another
true.
stat.
He is
They just
almost
don't see him
undefeated.
enough. He's almost undefeated. They just don't see him enough. They don't prepare. They've never seen an athlete like that at the quarterback position ever. I mean, the Ravens are. It's easy to pick against the Cowboys. They're our nemesis in the division.
Hey,
Ravens being
well,
0-2. Yeah, Ravens being
I picked the
0-2.
Ravens.
Ravens being 0-2. They're desperate. They can't afford to go 0-3,
No, they
especially
cannot.
especially with the Steelers being 2-0. You know, I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Ravens.
I I think they get their first win this week as well.
Ravens get their first win this week, I believe. All right, who we got
We're
next?
moving on to the Chiefs and the Falcons, and what I think should actually be pretty good. It's in Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It's in the home of the Falcons in Atlanta. The Chiefs are on the road. Um, and Atlanta Falcons just had a hell of a win last week against your boys.
Yeah, I'm be honest with you. I think the Chiefs roll here.
You
I
think they're
think
just going to steamroll?
no, I mean it won't be a steamroll, but I think the Chiefs win by at least double digits this week.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, yeah, the Falcons didn't look good outside of Bijan Robinson. I thought the Falcons didn't look good. Outside of running the ball, but with Bijan, I don't think they look good. I think Philly more gave away the game than they did anything new. And I thought Philly played mediocre and still was in control of the game the entire time.
Right.
I mean, you add Andy Reid, you add the fact that, he still hasn't found. They still. I don't know what they're doing with Pitts. Like they haven't found a way to get him involved. I had the man down for 25 yards. He couldn't get 25 yards.
I
Cost me
don't
my
think I don't
cost
think
me
they
my player
are.
prop. So I don't know what kind of role they have for him.
They don't.
I just think Drake London I thought would be further along by this. It's a lot of outside of Robinson, I think it's too many question marks. You can't beat the defending champs with all those question marks. I think, one team knows who they are, one team's trying to figure it out. Give me the team that knows who they are on the road. Chiefs by double digits.
This is going to be my shock pick of the week. I think, you look at the Chiefs' first two games, barely edged past the Ravens, barely edged past the Bengals. A lot of help from the referees, as corny as that sounds to say. A lot of game influencing, potential game deciding calls from the officials in both games to start the Chiefs season to give them wins. And if I'm not wrong, they were both in Arrowhead. So
I get it. I understand. I see where you're going. But you also have to say they played against the reigning MVP the first game.
that's true.
And on a national television game where no one else was playing, right? Like it was the game to start the fucking season. And then last week they also played a team that always plays them tough. Always plays them tough.
That's very true.
So again, if we're looking at this, I don't know. It could happen. You might have the upset of the week here, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man. I think
if
I
you
got
put it
the
this way.
upset of
Put
the
it this
week.
way. If you had to put your money somewhere, where would it be?
I'd bet on the Falcons. Falcons
+3?
money line, man. No, money line, just to win the game.
No way.
I think
No
they can do
way.
it. I mean, I think if Kansas City does win, it's going to be like you said. I think if Kansas City wins and they prove me wrong and they just look like a well-oiled machine, but there's no Isaiah Pacheco. He's on IR. They're playing their
That could hurt.
first road game, their first real test on the road against a contender potentially in the NFC. And Kirk Cousins got his crap together on that last drive. I think he finally started finding his rhythm throws
Kurt
against the
looking
Eagles.
terrible. All right, let's move on. You got the Falcons in the pick
I
of the
got the
week.
Falcons.
As it pans out, it's the pick of the week. Who do we got left? Oh, we got Jaguars, Bills.
That is a Monday night doubleheader, actually.
Wow. And Commanders, Bengals.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
So we have the Jaguars going into Orchard Park, New York.
I don't trust them. I don't trust the Jags more than I can, Hey, are they one of the luckiest 2-0 teams I've seen? Probably. But it also means that you're finding a way to win tough games. You can call it luck, and a lot of people like to call what the Steelers are doing luck right now too. But it's something about finding a way to win those games.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the Bills at home, man. I've been to Orchard Park. I know what it's
That
like
place
in
gets
there.
loud.
The whole atmosphere there is nuts, bro. You got to come from Florida. I just don't see
Rough.
it, man.
It's rough.
I
In
don't see
prime
it.
time against Josh Allen, I don't see a shot. I got
don't see
Buffalo
it.
by double digits.
I got Buffalo too.
I'm sorry if we have any resident Jaguars fans watching.
Yeah, Buffalo, man. I just can't see
Let's
it.
go, Buffalo.
I won't even spend any more time on that.
Me neither.
Jags have been disappointing to say the least.
Buffalo by double digits. That's my pick.
I think Buffalo by 7. All right, now you got the Commanders at the Bengals. The Bengals are favorite 7.5
This
points
is the weirdest primetime game they could have picked.
of all time at this point.
Like, it's in Cincinnati. I think this is where Cincinnati finally gets it done. I think this is.
I want to say.
I want to say Cincinnati just kind of wins seamlessly. I want to say that, but the Commanders are just so weird on primetime games.
They are.
Like they just stick around for some reason, and I always feel like I'm watching some weird quarterback who's not the starter leading some fourth quarter run for the Commanders.
Always it seems like that.
But
I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
all right,
I think the 7.5 is way too much.
I think that's too much too.
I think it's too much. But
I mean, this
you know, I,
could be a game where Jamar Chase just kind of establishes his rhythm back into the league and lays down a hammer on a primetime game in Cincinnati, who Cincinnati just got approved for a stadium renovation. So
beautiful.
I think there's from not having an outdoor practice facility even to, or not having an indoor practice facility even just a couple years ago to now getting a potential Super Bowl suiting stadium. I think there's a lot on the line going forward here for the Bengals to be a good team and to win and use the talent that they have handed millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to guaranteed to win this one. I got Cincinnati, and I think this is way more than just can the Bengals win the game this week? It's can the Bengals get this ship right? Can they overcome the struggles they had in camp leading up to the season? Can the Bengals be the team that we saw go to the Super Bowl just 2 years ago? Are they
That's
still
true.
them?
I don't know. We'll find out. I think. But again, I think they do get it done this week. However
Yeah.
they get it done, I think they get it done at home.
I think
I
they
don't
win
think
the
the Commanders are
game by
good
six
enough.
points.
I don't think the Commanders are good enough. So
I got
yeah,
27-21.
27-21. I like that. So that's cool. I think we got all the
That
games this
does.
week.
That brings a wrap to our picks of the week, everyone. Anyone who tuned in throughout, thank you so much. This will be available as a copy on YouTube. And before we go, I just want to leave us. If you had to make a top five heading into this weekend,
Oh my
from
God.
5 to 1, it'll be easier for you to go from 1 to 5. From 1 to 5, what are your power rankings heading into week 2?
Week
Week
3.
Heading
Um,
into week 3. Sorry.
no, you're fine. Looking at the teams. What's the Seahawks record?
The Seahawks
Are they
are,
2-0?
as of now, they're 2-0. You know, no one in the NFC East is 2-0. The Vikings are 2-0. And the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2-0. So none of the teams anyone expected to be 2-0 are 2-0.
Obviously, number one team is, you got to go with Kansas City just because they're also 2-0.
My
And
reigning number one pick
they're,
for the power
they're, right,
rankings.
they're the defended champs. They're 2-0. I mean, now everything else just goes by eye, like what I actually seen.
Right.
And from what I've been seeing, also judged on the competition that they've been playing, gonna have to say the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are the second. The Seahawks and Saints to me are like probably neck and neck. I mean, if the Saints win this week, the Saints automatically jump to number 2, hands down.
For sure. If they keep winning in the dominant fashion against the teams that they're dominating against, how can't you?
Right. I mean, I think the Saints win this week. They legitimize themselves as number 2. Right now, I'll keep them at number 3. Um, your Steelers are 2-0 as well.
I will hit you if you put them in there.
No, I mean, I'm trying to be objective here, but I'm gonna go with Chiefs 1, Saints 2, Seahawks 3. Then you have Buccaneers 4, which they could easily be 3 as well.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go with and mind you, this is just from this year. I
This
know
is
people are gonna say,
power
"Oh, well,"
rankings, folks. This is power
right.
rankings.
And I'm gonna go with Bills at 5. Right, I'm gonna go with Bills at 5 because in my heart, I think the Bills get to 3-0. I think
Yeah.
Bills at 5. So that's my 5 right there.
That's kind of similar to what I was going to go with, actually.
Yeah,
I
that's my
have
5 as
Kansas
well.
City keeping their spot at 1 for the week. I have, believe it or not, even though they did just drop a game, I'll get to them later. I have the Lions in my top 5. I still do. I think they're still that team.
Do
But
you
this
have
is
them at number
where
2?
I don't have them at number 2. At
Okay.
number 2, I follow a very similar suit with you, except my 2, 3, and 4 are kind of shuffled around. I got Tampa Bay right now. The way they're playing, I have them
Yeah.
at 2.
That's respectable.
I have New Orleans the way they're playing right now at 3, just because of the fact that one of those wins was against the Panthers, and you need to consider that in.
That's true.
Um, at number 4, I have the Buffalo Bills, and at number 5, I have the Lions.
Yeah,
So
that's
from
respectable.
1 through 5, I got Kansas City, Tampa Bay, um, New Orleans, Buffalo, and Detroit.
That's respectable.
Yeah. So we'll have those laid out on Instagram later on in the day, and hopefully by tomorrow I'm able to have my official YouTube version of the picks of the week between you and me for Bucket We Ball episode 3 on YouTube.
Beautiful.
Um, and I'm looking to have that done, at least uploading by tonight, hopefully there tomorrow. So without a further ado, thanks to everyone who joined this live. We have our
Absolutely.
most current viewers as we're ending.
Make sure you have your phone charged when you're at the game, so you can get some cool live footage from
Exactly, man.
Heinz
Need to
Field.
make sure. Gotta
Yeah.
put it on the YouTube. Gotta send it to you, more importantly, though, bro. So we'll be back next week with some more picks. And
Yes,
without a
sir.
further
Thanks for
ado,
everybody for joining. Thank you for joining and watching in, and hopefully let your friend know too. You know what I mean?
yeah, go tell a friend. Don't be a loser. Watch the
Tell a
video
friend and tell
for a
a friend.
cookie.